San Diego State 79. Number 11 Gonzaga 76. That was the final last night from McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane. The Kennel, the coach on the sidelines leading his team to victory, was Steve Fisher. He joins us now on Extra Sports 1360. Coach, congratulations. I know it's just one game early in a season, but it sure feels big to everyone who has supported the program and is a fan of the red and black. So good job and congratulations.
Thank you, Ben. Chris, it felt big for us, too. This is an environment that's second to none. They never lose at their home building, and we went up and found a way to get a hard-fought, well-deserved victory.
Coach, we talked to Ted Leitner a little bit earlier on the program, and he let us in on, what you said to the team maybe yesterday morning before the game, and gathered them all around and kind of looked them all in the eye and said, guys, I've looked at the film, I've seen us, I know what we can do. Believe it or not, we can beat this team. We're better than this team if they play the way we can. To me, that confidence is something that's been born here over the last several years, but it had to be very satisfying to see your kids go out and actually, accomplish something you knew they were capable of doing. You didn't win that game last night with a superhuman effort. You won that game by being as good as you guys really are.
I agree with you, Chris. It's not egotistical to think that you're good, and we talk about that. You have to feel you're a little bit better maybe than even you are, but in this case, I felt that we were as good or better than Gonzaga, and to go out and play that way. About a year ago, and we talked on this too, when we played Tennessee, we, for a half, were a little bit wondering, are we good enough? And it was too late after that. And I said, we have to know that we're better than Gonzaga. And then you have to play that way. And I was very proud of the effort and the toughness we displayed when Gonzaga, who will make runs on anybody, made their runs on us. And we found ways to come right back with big plays at both ends of the floor to get ourselves a really, really significant win.
Coach, talk about this team's growth from last November to this November, because obviously there's a couple of new faces, but essentially a lot of the same guys back. And last year at this time, you went on the road to a tough WCC school, and you guys didn't play well at St. Mary's. You got, run off the floor in the early part of that game, and you eventually got better, and by the end of the season won the Mountain West Conference tournament. This is a totally different beginning, though. Talk about the difference between last year's team at this point and this year's team.
It's called experience, and we had a lot of it last night. A year ago, we started 2 true freshmen and Malcolm, a junior college transfer that hadn't played a second for us, and it paid dividends. It showed that we had gone through a very difficult season a year ago on road trips to Utah and BYU and New Mexico and Vegas, and been able to hold serve. And I think that's huge, a huge piece to it. And we've grown as players. I mean, I said often, Malcolm Thomas is the best passing big man in the country, and a year ago at this time, he wasn't. And so that's growth as a player individually, and we've had tremendous growth as a team.
The one thing I know that you're always going to get, and you coach and these kids give to you, is the effort, and especially at the defensive end, and that's what I think has raised the ability and raised the bar for this team, Steve, and their ability to compete. The one thing that I was concerned about, was how are you going to handle it when it gets tight, last 4 or 5 minutes, down the stretch? Are you going to be able to execute your offense and get shots? I go back to a couple of plays that Kawhi made on bounce passes on the interior. One led to a Carwell dunk. The other led to Billy White. And, of course, Billy had a phenomenal game. It looked to me like you guys really executed at a pretty high level. And you had a couple of hiccups there down the stretch. But for the most part, that's where I saw a lot of growth last night, and you needed it to win that game.
We did do a nice job of making plays out of our execution with some technique on set plays, and I think that's growth. You have to be able to be a basketball player who can read defenses, and the play that you're talking about was spectacular, where Kawhi came off a ball screen and dropped that bounce pass into Carwell. That it takes time to be able to do that, and it takes a good player to be able to do that. And we did it without a state of panic. People that know basketball are aware that there are going to be ebbs and flows, and there are going to be turnovers at critical stages. And I thought we did a nice job of when we had some bad possessions that led to easy things for Gonzaga, we didn't let that affect us 2 plays down the road. We were able to come back and make plays on our own at both ends of the floor.
Talking to Coach Steve Fisher here on Extra Sports 1360. Coach, if you could, put yourself in the unenviable shoes of an opposing coach who has to go up against your team, and you see what Billy White can do and what we've seen Kawhi Leonard do, and big options like Malcolm Thomas and Brian Carwell, now a shooter with a pure touch like James Rahan, the rebounding ability that your team shows. I can imagine you wouldn't want to go up against a team like that, would you, Coach?
I like our team. I've said that for several years. I like the makeup of our team. I like the camaraderie and the really, truly feeling for one another. And that helps you be successful. When guys play unselfishly and move the ball and help a guy defensively and do the little things that only we as coaches and players can see when you watch the film a second or third time, you are impressed with our group. We still will win or lose based on how well we defend and how well we rebound. And we're going to score points. We could just let them run up and down the floor, and we will score points. But we must maintain the pride that we had in saying we don't have to score to win this game. We have to guard and rebound. If we do that, everything else will take care of itself.
Coach, going to let you go. Congratulations on the win. Just really one last thing, I think, from the Red and Black faithful today. I'm kind of trying to ask on behalf of everybody who's, ecstatic right now and has been waiting for a win like this for a long, long time. And, unfortunately, we don't get to see it home until next week. You still got some tough games coming up in Ohio this weekend. But how are you going to keep these guys focused? What's going to be your kind of method of attack now to, as you said, bask in the glow of this win, but also realize that March is still another 5 or 6 months down the road?
I think with the maturity that we've got, and DJ Gay I've rubbed off on him. He's rubbed off on me. I love the way he just kind of even keel with everything, and that's how we have to be. We got work to do. I mean, we're far from being a team that strikes fear in the hearts of other people. So our kids know that, and the nice thing that we've got, I can look down and if a guy's not performing or not performing from an effort standpoint, we can quickly go to the bench and not lose a beat. And I think that will help motivate us. But I think the character of our team will allow us to come out, continue to practice hard, have a desire to have some achievements, not unlike we had last night. That was a really good program win. And I think everybody that's followed San Diego State would say that.
Well, Coach, good luck this weekend against some good teams. Green Bay, IUPUI, maybe not nationally well-known on the West Coast, but some tough teams. I know you'll need to play well again, and safe travels. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on.